Soon they found Jonah sleeping through the storm. They asked him, "How are you sleeping through it? Who are you? Where did you come from? Who is your God?" He answered, "I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land." So then the people were all asking, "What do we do to calm the waters?" Jonah answered them and said, "Pick me up and throw me into the sea, and it will become calm. I know that it is my fault that this great storm has come upon you." Jonah knew that since he decided to run away from the Lord, he made this storm, maybe to teach Jonah a lesson. Of course, the men did not want to throw Jonah into the water because they did not want to kill him. But then the storm got bigger. The men were now praying to God, the same God they were against not long ago, asking him not to punish them for killing this man. Then they threw him into the storm, and it calmed. Jonah 1:17. Now the Lord provided a huge fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish for 3 days and 3 nights. Now you would think that after being thrown in the waters, Jonah would die. But God sent a great fish to save Jonah from death. He spent 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of this fish. He prayed to God, and soon the fish vomited Jonah onto dry land. Jonah knew where he was. He was in Nineveh, the same place God tried sending him to earlier. Jonah began by going a day's journey into the city, proclaiming, 40 more days and Nineveh will be overthrown. The Ninevites believed God. A fast was proclaimed, and all of them, from greatest to least, put on sackcloth. Jonah did it. He turned Nineveh to a country that worshipped God. Most people think that God sent the fish as a punishment for Jonah. They think, "Ew, I would never want to be in the belly of a fish for 3 days." But they don't realize that it was actually the opposite of a punishment. This huge fish saved Jonah from dying in those waters. It also took him to Nineveh, which is where he should have gone in the first place. And since it took him there, he turned the country to one that loves and worships God. So yes, the fish's stomach was probably disgusting, but it was all part of God's plan for Jonah to go preach and not run away from God. From this story, we should realize that no matter what we do, where we go, what we believe, God will always be there to take you back to Him and what plans He has for you. We should always do what God is telling us to do, no matter how bad we don't want to. He knows what He is doing, and He never fails. We hear God talking to us all the time and telling us what to do and what not to do. But with a lot of people, they don't like what God is telling them, so they don't do it and they run away, just like Jonah did. One example is being a human in today's world. Now, this might just apply to kids my age, but I think it applies to adults too. We hear God saying to do something, for example, to spread the gospel or help someone. But then we have the world telling us to do the opposite. And oftentimes we want to listen to the world saying, don't talk about God or don't help that person, they did it to themselves. And I know a lot of people who have listened to the world and now don't have a good relationship with God because they ran away from Him. Now you might think this is off topic, and it might be, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. There's even kids at my private Christian school that you can tell don't care to listen to God, and you can tell they chose to run away, because I know they hear about Him daily. I mean, it's a Christian school. But they still choose not to listen because it isn't what the world is telling them to do. Basically, my big message today is God will always be on your side and tell you the right thing. That's why you shouldn't run away from Him.
It's okay to clap. to be able to do the things they're doing. And we have talked about, we have studied, we have gone over so many different things, but I also want to let some other people tell you what it means to them to be able to work with our young people. And, you know, we haven't had a youth group for very long around here, children and youth group. It's all somewhat new. And I think that our young people are doing an amazing thing when we do our children and youth Sundays. And it gives them an opportunity to be able to speak and to be able to be part of things and to learn what it means to be in leadership in the church. You know, if we don't teach our young people how to grow up in the church and what the church requires and what it needs, who's going to? It certainly is not going to be the world. So, Wendy, did you have something you wanted to share? Come on up.
I guess it was 9 months ago, Marcia decided in July that we needed a youth group. She asked me about helping, and honestly, guys, that wasn't my thing. Coming and working with the youth. I love children, and so I decided, you know what? I will come and I'll be the cook. I'll provide dinner on Wednesday nights and then let them do their thing. But during those 9 months, I've learned that I have learned more from the youth than I probably have learned in my 57 years. One thing I've learned from working with the youth is that they have an incredible ability to see things clearly. We need the youth for our society to move forward. They are the ones who will carry on our values. They are our future. I'd like all of us to take a moment and think about what we'd like our future selves or children's future selves to look like. How do we want them to grow up? How does this reflect the values of our community? And then let's think about how we can help make those dreams a reality. I'd like to say to the youth, you guys are awesome. You are my favorite people in the whole wide world. And I love spending time with you on Wednesday evenings. I also love being able to help you grow in your faith. And what I love the most is you helping me grow in my faith as a Christian. And I'm always excited to hear stories about how God has worked in your lives. I know it's not easy being a teenager, but I want you all to know that you are seen, you are heard, and I will always be here